French, but there are not many French speakers here, I suppose. So I think I will talk in English. Dear Dr. Raja Selvam and Mrs. Dayavati, Dr. Nalam, father who is present here, and friends and gentlemen. I have been called upon to talk on the origin of Pondicherry, and of course when we talk of Pondicherry there is Arikamedu in it. As far as Pondicherry is concerned, people are thinking that it is a very ancient city. I may have a contrary view, of which I am going to talk now. The problem with Pondicherry is that we do not have any literary references to Pondicherry or even Puducherry before the 15th century. If you have read the Tamil literature, even Sangam literature, right up to the medieval ages, medieval literature, Tamil literature, or even Sanskrit literature, there is no reference to Pondicherry or even Arikamedu anywhere. I have checked it at various places, but as far as my research is concerned, I did not find any reference to it. Apart from the fact that there are no literary reference to Pondicherry and Arikamedu in Tamil literature, ancient Tamil literature as well as medieval Tamil literature, there is also another important source of information, which is epigraphy. And here too, you do not find any information regarding Pondicherry or Arikamedu. You can check it everywhere. Pondicherry, when did it come into existence? There's always a problem. The French thought that it started in Arikamedu, that is 2000 years before, when the Romans were supposed to have traded there. But was it really true? Was Arikamedu Pondicherry town as it is today? Was Arikamedu different from Pondicherry town as we find today? This is something into which we have to go into now. As far as literature, you have the travelers' accounts since very long time. The Roman travelers' accounts, for example, Strabo, the Roman geographer Strabo. You've got Pliny, the Roman writer who is famous for his works. They have referred to trade with India, but never have they referred to trade with Pondicherry or Arikamedu. There is no reference to Arikamedu in any of their works. The ancient Roman Pettinger tables, which are sort of fresco paintings that we find in Rome, there too we find some reference to Muziris on the Malabar coast, but not on the Coromandel coast. Arikamedu is completely absent. So what is the origin of Arikamedu? One has to inquire. But before that, I would like to point out that as far as Pondicherry is concerned, there is no reference, as I told you, in any literature before the 15th century. The first reference to Pondicherry was at the turn of the 15th century. It was made by the great Arab navigator Suleiman al-Mahri. He has mentioned Pondicherry in his navigational work. He has mentioned many other ports, and all those ports are mentioned in his map, as well as the port of Pondicherry, which he calls it as Bandikeri. It is just above Kadalur. Kadalur was existing, and below Kadalur he places Chidambaram, which he calls as Fashifaram, and above that is Kadalur, and above Kadalur you can find Pondicherry. He calls it as Bandikeri. So I was surprised to see that name, and this has been pointed out by the British Arabic scholar Tibbets in his monumental work, the reference of which you will find it in one of my books. So Tibbets had argued that Bandikeri is Pondicherry. Then I was inquiring how this word Bandikeri came into existence. During the turn of the 15th century, Pondicherry, as it is as you find today, was ruled by Muthu Krishnappa Nayakar. He was the Nayak of Genji. So Pondicherry was part of Genji. At that time there was no Pondicherry as far as I could see. But Muthu Krishnappa Nayakar wanted to develop Pondicherry into a trading center because at that time the Portuguese had come to the Coromandel coast. So he invited the Portuguese and trade started in this area. Before the Portuguese, probably Arabs too had frequented this coast, about which we do not have any information. Though Sulaiman al-Mahri has mentioned that this port was a trading center in his work. So therefore, Pondicherry, we can safely conclude that it had started to exist right from the 15th century. We cannot push it beyond that because we do not have any references, literary or epigraphic. Scholars like many French scholars have given probably an erroneous picture of the antiquity of Pondicherry and compared it with Arikamedu. I would like to point out here too that Arikamedu, as we know, the word Arikamedu has never existed even before the 18th century. In the ancient Tamil literature, as well as in all the inscriptions that we find everywhere in the temples in Pondicherry, around Pondicherry, I have visited all these temples, right from Sringeri, which is in Tamil Nadu border, and you go to Bahur, Mulanatha Swami temple, and then you have Tirubuvanai, Tiruvandar Koil. All these temples contain a lot of inscriptions. These temples have come into existence even before Pondicherry town had come into existence. Because these temples, if Pondicherry had existed at that time, there should have been some reference in these temples to Pondicherry. It is not the case. Neither in Tiruvandar Koil nor in Edumberi, which is also a very old temple, there are inscriptions, but nothing about Pondicherry, nothing also about Arikamedu. So how are we to determine, accept the contention that Pondicherry is a very ancient town? According to certain French scholars, they have advanced the theory that Arikamedu is Pondicherry. You know this. This was all started by the British scholars actually, J.W. Mackrindle in 1870, he translated the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea. In that work, he pointed out that Podukke, Ptolemy's work, he translated, also Periplus, which was written subsequently, was also translated. In that work, he pointed out that Podukke was Pondicherry, J.W. Mackrindle. After J.W. Mackrindle, you have the other British scholars like Wilfred Schaff in 1912. He also has contended that Podukke is Pondicherry. Then later, after Wilfred Schaff in 1916, we have H.G. Rawlinson who does the same. So even before the French scholars like Gabriel Jouvet-Dubreuil, who came to Pondicherry late in the 1930s or so, he was a teacher in the high school of French high school in Pondicherry. Actually, Gabriel Jouvet-Dubreuil had borrowed his theory that Pondicherry is Arikamedu from these British scholars who had earlier pointed out that the Pondicherry and Podukke is one and the same, which is not the case, because Podukke, we do not know what it is actually. If you take into consideration the translation of Ptolemy's work by the French scholar Louis Renou in 1925, he produced a thesis on the translation on Ptolemy's work. And in that, he did not mention Pondicherry as Podukke. He had mentioned Podukke as a sort of emporium or coastal mart, a coastal place where some trade was carried on. Apart from that, we do not find any other reference to Pondicherry as Podukke in Louis Renou's work. But whether fortunately or unfortunately, later French scholars, because as you know, Pondicherry was a French colony, later French scholars like Julien Vincent, who started the theory by actually borrowing it from McCrindle and Rawlinson that Pudukkei was Pondicherry and Pudukkei was actually Arikaman. So this was a big confusion that was created by the French scholars during the period of the colonization. But later it was carried over by the Tamil scholars like Mu Vardhanarasanar, and he also started telling the same thing. And the French scholars, right from Julien Vincent in 1917 up to recent scholars like Jean Deloche, Pierre Bourda and many others, just follow the line taken by Jouvet Dubreuil and Julien Vincent and kept on repeating the same thing. But when we go actually into the references to find out whether really Arikamedu was Pudukkei and Pudukkei was it Pondicherry, there is no such reference anywhere in the literature of the period concerned, that is the Sangam literature as well as the medieval literature. Now once again, what is Pudukkei? It is a Greek word actually. Ptolemy was a Greek man. So it is a Greek word, Pudukkei. And I had tried to find out the meaning of Pudukkei. Of course, Pudu I did not find out. But K in Greek means country, land, nation. So Pudu nation. So this has been confounded with Pudukkei, which Jouvet Dubreuil calls it as Cherry, which is not the case. K means in Greek it is a nation, it's a land, it's a country. You have got in the Greek work of Ptolemy, Damirike, which is Tamil nation, Tamil country. You have got Kotanarike, which is the country of pepper in the Malabar. You have got many other Aryake, which is a land which is beyond Gujarat. So everywhere you will find the K. K is just to signify nation. So how can we confound a nation with a small port town like Arikamed? So that apart, I do not want to go further in detail about this. I had already written a book on that, on the origin and foundation of Arikamedu and Pondicherry. But you should understand that as far as Arikamedu is concerned, we do not have any reference anywhere in the literature before the 19th century. In the French land survey of the 19th century, we find Arikamedu mentioned as Aripumedu. Aripumedu is the original name of Arikamedu. It is in the French land survey records, which has been noted by a French scholar. And I have given the reference in my book. So this Aripumedu means Medu, which has, the sea has eroded a mount. Medu is not a hill, it is a mount actually. But later, Jouvet Dubreuil, carried away by his passion, told that the Romans were trading there, and it was Romans' fortified town was in Arikamedu, and many potteries, artifacts, Roman artifacts were found there. But one should realize that Roman artifacts, coins, etc. was not only found in Arikamedu, but it is found all over the coast, right from Nellore to Malabar. Sir Walter Scott, in his work, has pointed out the existence of Roman coins and artifacts all around the coast from Nellore to down to Kanyakumari. And after him, Robert Sewell also pointed out that coins and artifacts are found in various places all along the coast. On top of that, you should know that these coins or artifacts, near Kadalur, you got Alamkulam and Karaikadu, where too you find such collections of coins and artifacts and wells and all, bricks and all that. So how did Arikamedu become so famous? How a Roman settlement had come there suddenly, and Romans had come directly from Rome to trade there. We have no proof that the ships had come to Arikamedu. It cannot, in my opinion, it could not have come there. Romans coins came all along the coast. It doesn't mean that Romans came all the way from Rome to trade all over South India. It is a complete aberration in my point of view, because there is no proof that Roman ships anywhere was sunk or any vestiges of Roman ships in Arikamedu itself, in the Ariyankupam river. You can check it. You can do the excavation. There is no Roman vestiges in the river itself. And on top of that, you should remember that the Arikamedu is situated in Ariyankupam village. And the river Ariyankupam is navigable only during the rainy season. This was pointed out by the French astronomer Legenty in 1761 in his work. 1761, Legenty wrote a magnificent work on not Arikamedu, but the Virampatnam and all those places. And in that he has clearly pointed out that the river is not navigable all throughout the seasons. Only during the rainy season, when there is high tide, when there is no silt deposited at the mouth of the river, can ships or large boats can come inside up to the Arikamedu Mount. So therefore, if at all there was trade in Arikamedu, it would have been carried on only during the rainy season, only when there was high tide. So Arikamedu could not be an all-time, all-season port. It was a coastal mart, of course. It was a seasonal port when probably during high tide the ships came inside and there were some exchanges of goods. Of course, goods were produced in Arikamedu. Certain beads and all these things, artifacts, many things were exported and many goods were also imported. But one thing you have to be clear, in Arikamedu, there is no sign of a large human settlement. There were traders, of course, merchants were there, workers were there who produced goods. Apart from that, there is no settlement, that sort of Tamil settlement that we find all over Tamil Nadu. For a settlement to thrive, the most important thing is the temple. And you do not find any temple in Arikamedu itself. Now, neither do we find any foundation of temple in Arikamedu. So when we don't find that the most important element of a Tamil village being a temple, you don't find it. And on top of that, you do not find any vestiges of administrative and residential quarters in Arikamedu. If people are really settled there, there should be residential quarters and administrative buildings, which is completely absent in Arikamedu. Many researchers have done researches right from very long time. Even Legenty had observed that there was some ruins in Arikamedu, but many researchers after that has been done. Jouet de Broglie had did it, and then he brought many researchers from British India like Mortimer Wheeler and some archaeologists from Madras like Dr. Ayyappan. And Dr. Ayyappan immediately, without any thinking, he just told that Arikamedu is the Takshashila of South India. And it was reproduced in the Hindu paper. So Arikamedu gained prominence which is not justified. Of course, for Jouet de Broglie it was a very big affair, because now Pondicherry being just a small minuscule territory, he had found something. He claims that he has found a great Roman settlement with factories, and they receive orders directly from Rome, and there was a governor there, and the Indians were just working under the Romans. All that he has written in his works. You have to just check. And they have no foundations. The only problem is that Jouet de Broglie had tried to create a sort of impression that Pondicherry was a city, a town of great antiquity, whereas it is not. It is a town which came into existence, if we go by the accounts of Sulaiman al-Mahri, only in the 15th century or slightly before. Before that, there is no reference to it. On top of that, Jouet de Broglie had made monumental claims regarding Pondicherry town and for example, he had told that Pondicherry was Vedapuri and all that. Vedapuri, from where he got it, I don't know. Anandaranga Pillai has never told that this was a big cultural center and learning center and there was a temple there. He says the Vedapuriswaran temple, which was in Pondicherry, was known as Agatiswaran temple previously, and later this Vedapuriswaran temple had Vedapuri, and you know Vedapuri, there is no proof for all that, just like that imagination. Of course the temple was destroyed and the inscriptions went away along with them. But the temple itself, the city, the town itself never came into existence before 15th century, there is no reference. So the temple came into existence only in the 17th century. Of course, later it was destroyed by duplex. That is a different story. But saying that Pondicherry town existed from 2000 years back and Arikamedu was Pondicherry and Arikamedu is Arikamedu is about 4 kilometers away from Pondicherry town. Arikamedu is near to the British India. Actually, it was an accident of history that Arikamedu became part of Pondicherry. If in 1706 the sultans were ruling Pondicherry and the adjoining regions, and there was one Dawood Khan with whom Francois Martin was in touch, and Dawood Khan, because of his relationship with Francois Martin, had donated this Aryangupam village in 1706 to the French. So if Dawood Khan had donated it to the British, it will be part of Kadalur district. So it is on the border of Kadalur and Pondicherry, and fortunately or unfortunately it has been donated to the French, and therefore scholars like Jouet Dubroy had committed the monumental error by claiming a very prestigious status to Arikamedu and by implication a prestigious history for Pondicherry, which had not existed before 15th century. So this is the very delicate question, and you can check any travelers' accounts. I have checked all the travelers' accounts, the Arabic travelers' accounts, right from Sulaiman Tajir up to Ibn Battuta and up to Sulaiman al-Mahri. There is no reference to Pondicherry or any such thing or Arikamedu or nothing. And why are you going so far? All the temples which were built even before the coming into existence of Pondicherry town, no reference to Pondicherry or Puducherry. So the first reference that I have found is Bandikeri at the turn of the 15th century, mentioned as a port by Sulaiman al-Mahri. Sulaiman al-Mahri's observation has been confirmed by none other than Father Paulina San Bartolomeo, who had visited Pondicherry after Legionti in in the 1770s. He had told that Pondicherry is not a city of great antiquity. It has come into existence because of the trade that the Arabs carried on with the Coromandel and Malabar coast. That is around 14th, 15th century. Fra Paulina San Bartolomeo. You can check his work. It is in French. I do not know if it was translated into English. Neither did Legionti claim that it had a great antiquity. Maridas Pillai, who was a big Tamil scholar of Pondicherry, also did not claim that Pondicherry was a city of great antiquity. Neither did Anandaranga Pillai in his diary claim that Vedapuriswaran temple was known as Agatiswaran earlier, and it existed in 2000 years, and it was really a great center of learning. There is no proof for all these contentions which are completely erroneous. So I told Bandikeri. I should explain a little bit how this Bandikeri word would have come into existence. Because Bandikeri actually is Pondicherry. It may sound strange, but the Arab, the Arab doesn't know Tamil. And you should know that Muthukrishnappa Naikar, the ruler of Janji, was a Telugu. It was a Telugu dominated region in those days. So the Telugu is actually for Bandi, in Tamil it is Bandi, and the Telugus call it as Bandi. It is a fact, any Telugu here, he will know it. Bandi Keri is nothing but cherry. So Bandi Keri is a Telugu word which would have been derived, I think, most probably from Tamil, because at that time in the 15th century, Muthukrishnappa Naikar wanted to develop it as a boat trading center, and therefore all the goods were brought to Pondicherry in bullock carts, which is called Vandi. So Vandicherry probably came into existence at that time, as the Telugu Nayaks cannot pronounce Vandi, they called it as Bandikeri, and that is Bandikeri in the course of time became Pondicherry. It is a pure Tamil Telugu word. It is not a French word or anything. It has pre-existed Puducherry. How I am saying that? There is no reference to Puducherry before 16th century. The first person who referred to Puducherry was João de Barros, the Portuguese official historian, who had mentioned Puducherry as Puducherra. So that is the first reference to Puducherry. Before that you can search anywhere, there is no reference. After that, okay, they transformed it and did all sorts of changes. This Pondicherry of the Bandikeri, Pondicherry, and the Pondicherry of the French is just a corruption of the Pondicherry of the Tamils, and Pondicherry of the English also is a corruption of the Pondicherry of the Tamils, and Bandikeri of the Arabs. So this is what Pondicherry actually preceded Puducherry. If there is any reference to Puducherry even before the 15th century, I would accept that Puducherry antedated Pondicherry. But as there are no reference, I cannot do that. So for me, at least I think that Pondicherry preceded Puducherry, and Puducherry, of course, is an appropriate name because it was a new town or a new village or something. So Puducherry, because it had come into existence in 15th century, so in the 16th century the Portuguese called it as Puducherra, which was repeated subsequently by other Europeans as Pondicherry and all that. So let us not entertain illusions about the greatness of Pondicherry, as the French scholars have erroneously led us to believe. Arikamedu is of course a coastal mart where some trade was carried on, but it is not a very big Roman center as one wants us to believe. You got some certain coins and other artifacts in Arikamedu, that is sure, but you got similar coins and artifacts in other centers like nearby Karekadu and Alangulam. Anybody visits Alangulam and Karekadu, it is somewhat the same. So why did Arikamedu acquire this reputation? Because of João de Broglie, who had brought in Mortimer Wheeler and everybody, and right up to Vimala Bigley. Vimala Bigley, who had received a lot of funds to do research, 1989 to 1992, she produced volumes about Arikamedu. But she found nothing more than what Mortimer Wheeler had asserted, or João de Broglie has asserted, or even J.W. McCrindle in 1870 has asserted. So this is, for tourism, of course, it is good to say that Arikamedu is a big thing for Pondicherry, is a big thing, and Romans came there. But it is a coastal mart, and that too a seasonal coastal mart. The Aryankupam river, when it opened, the ships came in probably, and then some trading took place. And the silt, even now you can see the silt deposited there, the ships cannot come inside. Maybe it was not the same, it was the same some 1,000 years back. So how could we say that, how could we accept without any literary or epigraphical references that Arikamedu is equal to Podukke and Podukke is equal to Pondicherry and Pondicherry was a city of ancient reputation? It is not true. There is nothing in the literature you can find. You can check. I checked everything. Sangam literature, medieval Tamil literature, Sanskrit literature. There is nothing like that. So the one thing we have to remember is that Pondicherry actually came into existence most probably in the 15th century, at the turn of the 15th century, when the Arabs were frequenting the Coromandel and the Malabar coast. This was later noted by the Portuguese. Portuguese noted Puducherra, also Kalapet they had noted. So of recent origin, not more than 4 or 5 centuries. There are so many temples here, Element Temple, old temples. You got Perumal Temple, you got Vedapuriswara Temple, then another old temple is there, I think. 4 temples. So these temples were not, Puliyar Temple, it was not built before 17th century. This it's simply an aberration. There is no evidence for that. So how could we entertain the belief that Pondicherry had existed 2000 years back? It is not possible. It is not possible because there are no literary evidences. There are no evidences in epigraphy. Inscription evidences are lacking, and also no evidences in the travel accounts of the Arabs. The travel accounts, Arabs right from Sulaiman al-Tajir to Ibn Battuta, and the Chinese accounts right from the 7th century. So many Chinese have written about South India, Chao Jukwa, Kufai, and all these people, and last of all Ma Huan, who had written magnificent work on South India in the 15th century, the voyage of Cheng Ho, who had visited India. In that he has mentioned Mylapore, Mahabalipuram and all such places, but there is no Pondicherry. It was written in the 15th century. Only after that, Sulaiman al-Mahri has pointed out that Bandikeri is a small, probably a trading center or port, which had come into existence at the turn of the century. I think that with this I will conclude my talk, and if you have any questions, you can very well ask. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk.